Hello, it's Nik and Adinah. How are you doing today?
I am doing good, honey. How are you?
Good, great. We want to come today and talk a little bit about our infertility journey. There is a lot of misconceptions about infertility and, different women, different communities. So we just wanted to kind of share our journey and some of the things that happened with us as we were trying to continue our family and build our family and grow. This fine guy came to me when we first got married back in 19...
Ooh.
No, not 19. We met in 1996, got married in 2000. So I'm trying to put it older than that. But when we got married, we both agreed. I was a youth counselor for 14 years. So I just didn't want kids. And when I met him, he was perfect. He said he didn't want kids.
Was indifferent about it, really.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want kids either. And so that was the agreement, and we were fine with that. And as we started moving along in our journey of being married, I told him, I said, well, if you change your mind and decide you want to have children, because I think that was a source of contention, not just with us, or not necessarily with us, but with family members and people constantly asking us when we were going to start a family. And so we were just really comfortable, and we did a lot of traveling. And most of you guys know we travel a lot still now that we have small children. But I don't know, we were just living life and enjoying ourselves. And this guy, I told him, I said, well, come to me and let me know if you want to have children before my 35th birthday, because after you turn 35, most people know that the woman is considered advanced maternal age. So being the type of man he is, he came to me 4 months before my 36th birthday, because after I passed my 35th birthday, I was like, okay, good. We're not going to have any kids. Let's just keep it pushing, because the ball was in his court. And when he came and asked me that, I went, what did you do with my husband? So I was a bit confused about that. And so we had a lot of conversations about it, a lot of talk. And we unfortunately were naive in thinking, oh, once I stop birth control, I'll be pregnant in a month.
That was what I thought.
Not quite. So we did have quite a few challenges, had quite a few miscarriages, had 4 miscarriages in total. He had 2 miscarriages before we had our son, and then we had an additional 2 miscarriages before we had our daughter. And that was a major journey. I'm not going to go in too much detail about it. But it was just a very difficult time for us. It was like a 5 years of very difficult time. And I know I say I had 4 miscarriages, like I went to the store. But because it's so far removed and it's been a while ago, I guess I can kind of characterize it as that. But it was very difficult for us during that time. So I just wanted to share those things with you guys. If you have any challenges, please feel free to ask us questions or ask or seek advice from us. I wrote a lot about it in my book, also Butterfly Blue, on Amazon. So
yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges that we had as a couple is that you see so many people that have kids, and you start to think and wonder, okay, why not us?
Yeah.
What's wrong with us? Don't we deserve to have it? So it's a lot of things that kind of go into play when you're having those issues. And I think one of the biggest things I had to come to realization is that it was really out of our hands. All we could do was try. Even after we initially started, I think it was probably like a year and a half, maybe, before we even had our first miscarriage. Somewhere around that. Because was it not that long?
No.
Well, how long was it?
About 6 months.
It was 6 months?
Yeah.
We had been trying for 6 months. And then we finally had a miscarriage?
Yeah.
Okay. So even going that route, we were trying. And I remember one thing that we said, we said we're going to try. And if it didn't work, we weren't going to spend a whole lot of money or go through IVF and none of that stuff. One thing you should never say is
say never.
Never, yeah. Because as we tried to do it, I think it was a sense of helplessness, really. And so at that particular point, we started trying to do everything that we thought we could. And that included, starting to go to fertility specialists, Actually at one point we were seeing multiple fertility specialists.
Yeah.
We did IUI.
We did IVF.
And then we eventually ended up doing IVF, and that didn't work either. It's just that it was very trying. And one thing I'm very thankful in is that infertility impacts many marriages in different ways.
Yeah.
Some marriages are not strong enough to endure, the rigors that come with struggling with infertility. I thank God that we were able to stay close. And I won't say that they weren't trying times, because I almost feel like that 5-year span that we were almost just kind of...
I think we were kind of going through the motions. It was hard.
Yeah, I feel like we were just functional.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Because it was almost like we lived for that window in the month where we could try to conceive.
Yeah, and I have a lot of people now that say, oh, well, I talked to you about X, Y, and Z during that time. And I just was like, I don't remember anything like that. So it was just a hard time.
Yes, and I believe that, all things work for good.
To do the love of God and those who are called according to his purposes. Romans 8:28.
Absolutely. So even in all that, we had no idea why we were going through it, but we knew we were going through it for a reason.
Yeah.
So we're extremely thankful that we were able to stay together, because even going through all that, we actually did participate in some support groups. As far as like
Resolve. We were members of Resolve, and then after we went through our journey, we both were actually Resolve care group leaders for about 2 years, where we hosted the meetings here in our town.
Yes, it's true. So
it's a good resource for anybody who is struggling with infertility. I encourage them to go for it, because some of the things that I had to deal with were totally different from the things that Nik had to deal with. And it was like we just could not understand each other's battle in the whole situation.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things, is that like the third time I said biggest thing? I guess it's not the biggest thing if I've used that term a few times, but.
So what was the other biggest thing?
Yeah, the next the biggest thing is just understand that it's not anybody's fault in it, as far as it takes it takes the couple to conceive, and so we shouldn't view it as being the other person's fault or problem if there's issues with conception. I
think most of the time, because the woman is the one that gets pregnant, I think a lot of onus goes on the woman. But it's really not, anyone's fault, as you said.
Yeah, and you just really want to try your best to stay connected, because when it gets really trying, and it will when you're dealing with infertility, you want to make sure that you have that support to be able to continue to work through that issue and stay whole. Because when you are able to conceive, you want to be able to have that child come into a situation where there is a good foundation between their parents.
Healthy, loving parents, yeah.
Yes, it is.
So if y'all have any questions about that, I know we were kind of vague in it and didn't go into a whole lot of detail. But if you have any questions, please feel free and like, share, and subscribe. Nik and Adinah.